So in 2020, during the pandemic, there was a call upon the sewing community to make face masks. And I kept talking to my family about it. I was like, you know what? I really want to make these face masks. And then, my family was just, kind of laughing at me or like, okay, Rebekah, like you and one of your ideas again. And I'm like, no, and so I was like, so I started like YouTubing and started doing my research and, just like started like, what does a face mask consist of? What do you have to do? And then so I made my first face mask like the end of March. And then I wanted to make it just to see if I liked it or even if it was something that I could do. And I end up feeling like that need of helping because that was always, part of me, always helping people. And so I made my first face mask and I'm like, okay, and then I kind of like tweaked it a little bit. And then I made one for my family. And then I just started putting up face masks on social media. And then it just went crazy. Like a lot of people from social media from all over the United States and Canada was reaching out to me, ordering face masks. And then in April, when the whole nation was shut down because of COVID, we were all on quarantine and like the only stores that were open was Walmart. And well, I come from a small town, so we only have 2 stores anyways. But it was we just have one grocery store and then we have Walmart, and those were the only 2 places that were open, and you couldn't, there was no place to shop or get supplies. And then if you ordered online, you were waiting for months because of the mail was slow. And then supplies, there was like no sewing machines or no like supplies because everybody was staying home and everybody was sewing and stuff, And so I had this idea for this real bougie face mask. And then I pulled out like all my materials and I, was like, thinking about it. It took me like I know what I wanted. And then so I made the night and day mask, but I didn't really start it until like May, but just because I had a lot of orders and so I finished it in May, like the end of May, and then I had a model, and then I had her model it for me, and I took the picture. And my favorite time of day is like, well, it depends on what season it is, because like here in Montana, like in the wintertime, it gets dark like at 5 o'clock. And that's not my favorite season, even though I'm a Montana girl. Winter is not my season, but like in the spring, summer, fall, it's a little better. And so this was, the end of spring, beginning of summer. And so there's that certain time of day, and like in Montana, we're called Big Sky Country. And that's called that for a reason. And so I look at the sky, a lot because that's one of the things we do here in Montana in Big Sky Country. And so there's a certain time of the day when the sky is just this blue, and I love it. I love that blue color. And it's like between like 4, 6 o'clock, or about between 5 and 6, 5 and 7 o'clock, right? Right before, about 2-3 hours right before the sun like goes down, there's a, and so I took a picture of my model. I took a picture of her at that time of my favorite time, going by the favorite color of the sky, my favorite color of the sky. And then I waited for a couple of days, and then I didn't post it until June because I was called back to work. Because I was on like telework and stuff. Then I was called back to work as the essential employee. So then, and then that's another thing. My day job, I do have a day job, and my day job is I'm the human resource generalist for the Chippewa Cree tribe. So my indigenous design and my fashion show coordination is on the side. But so I posted that picture and on social media that morning, like on my way to work, I posted it. And then, then when I was back at work, and I haven't been to work like in 3 months. So, so I was like catching up on my work and getting, caught up and stuff. And then like my phone started going crazy, and everybody was like, hey, check your phone, and, like missed calls and stuff. So I looked, and then here, like the picture, it got like 1,000 likes in like 1 hour, and it just got a whole bunch of shares, and then people from all around the world, like publications, blogs, fashion magazines, newspapers, TV stations, they all started contacting me. Like they started emailing, started messaging me and stuff. And then the night and day mask, it went viral. And I was just like, wow, it was quite the experience. And then people were like emailing me. Like I had hundreds of emails. I remember spending like hours of reading through my emails, listening to people, how they really appreciated how I incorporated like the night and day mask. It has Louis Vuitton material, and I cut up old Louis Vuitton purses that I collected from thrift stores. So people really appreciated how I like merged the French fashion house like with my culture and stuff, and it felt good to like hear people out, and they were sharing their stories and stuff, and people wanted to know like, where do you sell your stuff? How could I buy your stuff and everything? And then so that was like my push into my business. And so within the month, that was like in June, and then the following month, July 2020, I started my business. I got my website launched. I did research on what website to go with, and then I, did my business registration with the Secretary of State and got my EIN number, and, did all of those things that you do when you start a small business. So that's how I got the push. It was basically a push. I call it a push because I always did it. I just didn't put myself out there. I just didn't market myself and take all those steps, but it was the push from the people. If you want to start a business, I think the first thing you need to do is have it right here in your mind. Like they say, whatever you put your mind to, then you could do it. And that's true. That's really true. So if you want to start a business, start with yourself first. Start with yourself, then it will, then everything will fall into place. That is the beautiful thing about being an entrepreneur, is like everybody has like their own vision, and everybody, sees what they want and sees how they want to share it with the world and stuff. And so I could only give you advice from my experience, from what I learned from my business background. But you're the one who wants to share this with the world, so you'll see. And so don't like let anybody kind of like change your vision. Always be true to your vision and your mission. And that's something that I hold dearly to my heart too, is my vision and my mission statements. I always refer back to them, and they're going to change sometimes. It depends on how fast your business grows, how big you get. There will be probably changes, but always stay true to who you are. And that's always like, a good reminder for myself, because some opportunities come up, and then, then I stop, and then I think and I reflect, and I'm like, okay, now is that true to my vision? Is that true to my mission of who I am as a fashion show coordinator, as an Indigenous fashion designer, as an artist, so it's always good to stop and then reflect and think about, your vision and your mission as a business. When I started my business, I contacted Opportunity Link, and they sent me a package from the Small Business Association, and it was really helpful. So it was like the complete packet. I just literally started going down the checklist and just started marking off like the main things that I needed to do. I always had like a little business plan, and it wasn't like the greatest or anything, but I did have like a little business plan and stuff. But I wanted to make sure, as far as like the major things, which includes like getting your EIN number, and you have to pay like a couple of things like that. And then also too, because my business was, I'm on the reservation, and so there's a tarot fee too. So I reached out to my local tarot office and paid like the tarot fee. Then I had to register like with the Secretary of State, and then also my business name. I had to register my business name with the Secretary of State, and I think that was about it. Those were like the major things that I needed to get into place to start my business so I could be legitimate. And then also to getting my own bank account. That was very important because like the first year of my business, I meshed my business and, I just used my personal, but then it was like too complex, like for tax purposes and stuff. So my second year into business, I had got my own business bank account. So I had my business bank account and my personal bank account. So those were just like a couple of things. And when people like tell you stuff too, like give you advice, definitely listen to them, because like one of the things that people were telling me, that I was reaching out to like mentors, they were like, make sure, you get your own email just specifically for your business. And then that's a great help too when you start your own business. You want to make sure you have your own email just specifically for your business, because you don't want to mesh that like with your personal either. I mean, it seems like a small, simple thing, but believe me, it helps in the long run. That is something that, that helps me, just like the bank account, like people that I reached out to, like, oh, get your own bank account separate from your personal. And I didn't listen. And then, I found out in my second year into business, yes,